start, what's that number mean to you? What's it been like? How do you reflect on that milestone?
Yeah, I mean, I came to Clemson because I wanted to play football, play college football at a high level, and I think that's just kind of really cool to stop and look back at. It's not really anything I've ever really thought about, but it's really cool kind of looking back and reflecting on that. That like, man, I've been able to come to Clemson and play football, and I guess apparently play a lot of it. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's all just a reflection of just this coaching staff, my teammates, and helping me get better and push through all sorts of adversity throughout my time here. So I haven't really thought about it too much. I'm definitely very, very grateful for that. But we still have a lot more football to play.
Does it feel like you've played 3,000 snaps of college football?
It does a little bit, but I mean, I definitely feel good though. So I mean, I know more guys can be more banged up and stuff. I mean, I'm still in one piece, so I feel good.
Well, speaking of reflection, at the halfway point of the regular season, how do you, and as sort of one of the figureheads of this offensive line and offense, how do you view this offensive line's performance just overall at the halfway point?
Yeah, I mean, I would say first off, it's definitely tough, losing a guy like Walker Parks. That's definitely a guy who's sorely missed. Walker's a great player. He was a great player at guard, and he played great at tackle as well when he did that too. So having to overcome that's definitely been difficult because just Walker being such a good player. So right now, just kind of figuring out, plugging in different guys, figuring out what really works. And then also, we still have some younger guys in the offensive line too. So trying to build that continuity, I think, is something that we continue to work on week in, week out.
I guess how much of an adjustment is there continuity-wise? Obviously, Walker you played next to it when he was at right tackle and also the right guard. With Mitchell and Harris, like how do you build that chemistry with
I mean, the best way you do is just through practice, really. Walker's easy for me because one, played so much with him, I live with him. He's one of my best friends, so it's always easy with that. But really with the other guys, it's really just through practice, through film study, and things of that nature.
I do kind of miss him on the field, like obviously.
Yeah, no, like I said, straight up, Walker's definitely sorely missed. He's a great player, and that's the thing about the offensive line compared to many other positions is we're only as good as each one of us are. Really, it's really a very cohesive unit, and that shows when you play on the field. Like 4 guys can do a great job. Let's say one guy doesn't, and vice versa. Then it's just not right. So really just kind of that cohesion is always really important as an offensive line, because also too, it's rarely are we pointed out as individual players compared to just, this offensive line, which is completely fine. I think that's just because that's how it is, with football and in this game. So, yeah.
Talk about Harris for just a second. He had his good moments and bad moments Saturday, as you would expect, but, just kind of watching him through the glasses there, he plays to the whistle and kind of looks like he has that nasty streak. Is that what you guys see in practice?
100%. Harris is a good player, and also, I mean, he's a true freshman, right? But that's one thing I really respect about Harris, and I really love about him is he plays hard, he plays to the whistle, and you'll get his best each and every play. He prepares, and he thinks about football outside of football. This is something that really matters to him. Not just his own performance, but he wants to play well for his teammates, and I think that's a very important characteristic that as I think we move on in the future, guys don't really do that as much, but Harris does, and his future's bright. He's only getting better, and that's one thing about when you got to think about Harris too is being only a freshman, and I don't know how many plays he played, but that was probably the most he's played, I think, since the start of this season. And a guy like that, they have just an exponential curve to him, and I know he's going to get better this week and weeks to come.
I guess when you compare yourself to where you were as a freshman, is he at all similar or different? Yeah,
I mean, I would say Harris is probably ahead. He's definitely ahead of me. I mean, he's playing more than I have really. And yeah, like he also just has a knack for it. Like I think he's a natural, especially in the interior position. I think he could be a great center too. He bends really well. He has good hat speed off the ball, and he's really low center of gravity. He usually keeps his balance for the most part. So I just think he's really a natural at that position.
Feels like this running game has been really close to breaking out a couple times this season, such as like Florida State before the turnover,
Right.
and then Syracuse before the turnover. How do you does it feel the same way with you guys? Sort of we're not far away from.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it doesn't take anyone to realize that it has been up and down. The run game, some games it's like, man, this is really good. Other games not. But I do agree that we're right there to breaking out week in, week out. I think the best thing we can do is one, try to eliminate turnovers, and really I think we do best when we can put those long drives together. Right, that's something at least up front as offensive line. We try to pride ourselves at least in being, the best conditions unit on the field. And you can't really show that if you're just going 3 plays and then boom, we're out, because then it doesn't really matter. So I think for us, really trying to get those first downs, trying to keep moving the chains, in my opinion, when we do that, our run game gets better and better compared to just, a 3 and out. And that goes for the offense as a whole. But I think for us to get our run game really clicking is just staying on field, like eliminate 3 and outs, eliminate those turnovers, those big kind of momentum swings on the field. And I think that's when we can really start rolling, because I think in the run game especially, it's probably the same in the pass game, but I'm not throwing the ball, is it's really you have to keep on doing it to get in sync a little bit, and then you start getting into a rhythm and really start flowing. You understand how the defense is playing, you're playing a long drive, you understand their personnel better and stuff like that. So I think that's the biggest thing for us, just kind of putting together those long drives, getting those first downs, and then really going from there.
40 yards followed by 167 this past Saturday rushing. What was the difference, do you think?
I think one, just how Syracuse played it was a little bit different. So Syracuse because I guess we put up over 300 yards on them last year, and I believe at least as a defense, they're like, regardless, that's not going to happen. They had a ton of run stopping blitzes, like every single play pretty much, a lot of movement, a lot of blitzes, designed to try to stop the run, particularly the inside zone, because that's what we did to them last year, and ran that very effectively. So I think that was a little bit of it, and then also too, I think towards the second half, we kind of realized, and me and myself included, was, guys, we need to get this going. Like this is important for us to get this going, and that's something that's going to help the offense out as a whole if we start getting this run game going. And then I think we started putting together those drives a little bit more, staying on the field longer, and then things just started clicking.
You guys have basically been together since June. Is this open date coming in a good time? Kind of let everybody get away from the facility for a day or two, or however long?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think normally we've either had it. I think usually we'd play one more game and then have it. I think that's how it's usually been. Usually that week 8. But yeah, I think this is a great time. I think it's a great time for players, but also the staff as well. I think everyone just kind of like take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Reevaluate. Usually this is a time of reflection, just of kind of like how you asked earlier, how, we're halfway through the season, reflect, what did we do well? What can we get better at? And so on. What more do we need to do to, finish the job and do what it takes? So, I think this is a great time, guys that are banged up, they get to recover, and also just take a moment to just kind of take like a little mental break, however long or short that may be. I think that's always really healthy too.
How are you going to spend your time away?
I'm gonna be here, so I'll be here. It's really just gonna be like another week for me. And each individual's different. Like for me, like my body's great. Like I feel good. Mentally, I feel good. So I don't really necessarily need a break that much. I can just keep on going. Really probably take some more time, just catch up on schoolwork and just clean up my house and my car and stuff like that. But really past that, I'll be around here just another week for me.
That's why do you have to clean your car?
Yeah, after a while I got a bunch of stuff in there. I need to clean it out, sand, all that stuff.
Sand from sandbags?
Yes, it started raining. I threw that in there and then go and swimming over at the lake and stuff, and I get sand all in the truck. So, yeah.
There was so much anticipation coming into this year about this offense and the potential for it. New OC, Cade under center, all of those different pieces. Dabo's told us the last several weeks, it's just going to take reps for it to find its rhythm and for you guys to really all find that same footing. Is that what you have seen? How have you seen those weeks and the preparation and the time together benefit you guys? And is that tough? Is that frustrating? As an older guy who's put in the work and you're ready to go win a championship, is that frustrating? Is that tough to kind of manage those expectations?
I think for us too, we're not really driven by expectations in the first place. And to that point, I think the biggest thing for us right now is just players got to play, right? Like the coaches, they can figure out, is this working, is this not? That's not really something that I'm really focused on. That's nothing really I control either. I just think as players have to play. Guys who are, designated as like a playmaker, they need to go make plays. I'm an offensive lineman, I need to make my blocks. And I think just kind of having that mentality is really what's going to carry us forward, because there's some games where maybe this guy has like some phenomenal game, and then maybe next week it might not be like that, right? Like we need consistency across the board. No one has to play like a superstar every week in, week out. That's not necessarily what we need. We just need guys to consistently show up and do their job, right? Like mistakes are going to happen. Like I make mistakes, everyone makes mistakes. No one plays a perfect game, but I just think guys having that mentality of trying to chase perfection is what we need to be at. Even though we know that's probably not attainable, I think having the mindset of chasing that is what will lead to, fulfilling, our goals and what we want. Then also really just kind of like locking in, shutting out the outside noise. I think that can really help guys out too. And then finally, then once you get to the top of the mountain, then you can kind of sit back and reflect and be like, man, like we really did that. I think that's what's going to take for us.
Any questions for Will from Zoom? Anybody else in the room?
What's your evaluation of short yardage so far this year? It seems like y'all have had some trouble there.
Yeah, I think at first we did relatively pretty well. Overall, I'll be honest, I don't really even know too much. We need to get better though. I think we took a step back this past game in like third down. Overall third down, we've been relatively good. I just think this last week, and again, I just think guys, one, we just got to understand the field position where we're at. I think that's number one. Guys understanding the entire game from a management perspective, and again, guys just need to make plays. Guys need to make blocks and so on, and not being afraid to kind of get those dirty yards when we need to get them, where we need to get them. But at least I'm happy because I know that we have guys that can, will, and are able of doing that, and have shown that as well. So I just think kind of going forward, we just need to keep on working that, keep on getting better at that, and that'll help us out in the long run.
Anyone else for Will? All right, Will. Thank you, dude.
Sweet.